Accused Sheikh Hasina held a telephonic conversation with Dhaka University Vice Chancellor ASM Maksud Kamal, and in course of the conversation, Sheikh Hasina said, রাজাকারদের তো ফাঁসি দিয়েছি, এবার তোদেরও তাই করব, একটাও ছাড়ব না, আমি বলে দিচ্ছি। Rajakars have been hanged, now they also will be hanged, none will be spared, I have already ordered. This is the translation. She again said, রাজাকারদের কি অবস্থা হয়েছে দেখিস নাই, সবগুলোকে ফাঁসি দিছি, এইবার তোদেরও ছাড়ব না। In the said conversation, Sheikh Hasina further said, আমি বলে দিচ্ছি আজকে সহ্য করার পর অ্যারেস্ট করবে, ধরে নেবে এবং যা অ্যাকশন নেওয়ার নেবে। And it is crystal clear that Sheikh Hasina expressed her incitement to the activists of her party Awami League and affiliates Chhatro League and Jubo League, and also gave provocation to the protesters, and furthermore she expressed that she ordered to kill and eliminate the protesting students. The concerned pen drive CD containing the above conversation as well as the transcript thereof have been submitted in the tribunal. In addition to the above, on 15/7/2024, Awami League Secretary and Cabinet Minister Ubaidul Qadir made another provocative remark, saying, Andolon Domane Chhatro League is যথেষ্ট. Chhatro League is enough to control the movement. Whereupon the protesting students of Dhaka University burst into anger and vehemently protested against Sheikh Hasina, Ubaidul Qadir and the government. The activists of Chhatro League, Jubo League attacked the protesting students with various deadly weapons and severely injured hundreds of them, whereupon they had to be hospitalized. The attackers impeded the injured students proceeding to the hospital and also impeded their treatment. Moreover, the attackers made further attacks upon the students undergoing treatment in the hospital. In consequence of the above noted incitements of Sheikh Hasina, in the press conference on 14 July 2024, her order to kill them, as revealed in her conversation on the following night with Dhaka University Vice Chancellor, and also the provocative and aggressive remark of Awami League Secretary Ubaidul Qadir, the law enforcers and activists of Chhatro League and Jubo League attacked the protesting students at Dhaka University throughout the country, inclusive of Rangpur Begum Rokeya University. And in furtherance thereof, police shot Begum Rokeya University student Abu Said repeatedly at a close range, whereupon he succumbed to the gunshots. The above mentioned conversation of Sheikh Hasina with the Dhaka University Vice Chancellor SM Maksud Kamal has been examined by the experts in the CID Forensic Laboratory, and it appears from the report of the examination that the conversation was genuine and that the same have not been generated by artificial.
You know, most people who join my Read for Success workshop had doubts. Will this
The concerned experts deposed in corroboration of the genuineness of the impugned conversation. Furthermore, we find support of such conversation in the reports of daily newspapers. In addition to the above, the concerned CD pen drive containing the conversations has been played in the courtroom in course of the proceeding, and thereupon the conversation seemed to be genuine. The remarks of Sheikh Hasina in the press conference on 14/7/24 has been watched by many people in the television channel and social media. Almost all the witnesses, while deposing in the tribunal, mentioned that they watched the videos in the medias. Moreover, the national daily newspapers published the said remarks on 15/7/24. The remark of Obaidul Qadir was published in the news. It's a repetition. Sorry. Over and above said inciting remark and killing and order of killing by Sheikh Hasina and the provocative remark of Obaidul Qadir have not been denied by them. Although State Defence Council, the learned State Defence Council for the absconding accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal submitted that the conversation between Sheikh Hasina and ASM Kamal, Maksud Kamal, has not been properly tested, but he failed to show any cause and reasons in this regard. The prosecution witnesses proved the attack upon the Dhaka University students by the activists of Awan League, Chhatra League and Yuva League following the incitement and Sheikh Hasina's order of killing, as well as the provocative remark of Obaidul Qadir. Sheikh Hasina ordered the law enforcing agencies to use drone for locating the congregating protesters and thus to use helicopter and lethal weapons to kill them. Such order has been disclosed by Sheikh Hasina in her telephonic conversation on 18/7/2024 with Dhaka South City Corporation Mayor Fazle Noor Taposh, as it has been read beforehand, and also with Hasanul Haq Ino. The concerned pen drive CD containing the aforesaid conversations have been submitted in the tribunal. The said conversations have been examined in the forensic laboratory of CID, and the concerned experts found that the conversations were genuine and not generated by artificial intelligence, AI. Moreover, the pen drive CD containing the conversations in question have been played in the courtroom, and we have heard the conversations, and thereupon it appeared to us that the conversations are real, not fake and fabricated. Accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal, accused Inspector General of Police Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun acted jointly in connivance and collaboration with each other to commit the atrocities in order to kill the protesters throughout the country. It has been disclosed by Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun in his testimony that a core committee consisting of Home Secretary Jahangir, Additional Home Secretary Political Mr. Tipu Sultan, Additional Secretary Reza Mustafa, SB's Chief Monirul Islam, DB Chief Harun Rashid, RAB DG Barrister Harun Rashid, DMP Commissioner Habibur Rahman, DG of BGB Major General AKM Major General Ashrafuzzaman Siddiqui, DG of Ansar Major General AKM Aminul Haq, NTMC Chief Major General Ziaul Hassan, DGFI Chief and NSI Chief used to hold meeting every night after 19 July 2024 at the residence of Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal. Accused Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun said that instruction to the core committee used to come from the Prime Minister. He also said that at one stage of the movement, it was decided to use drone to locate the gathering of the protesters and to use helicopter and lethal weapons to control the movement. In a meeting of the core committee, Sheikh Hasina passed a direction to use lethal weapon. Additional DIG Joabdar, who was present there, communicated the message to the police officers throughout the country to use lethal weapons accordingly. Furthermore, Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun said that in pursuance of the remark of Obaidul Qadir and Nanak that Chhatra League and Yuva League are enough to bring the movement under control. He further said that following such remarks, activists of Chhatra League and Yuva League attacked the students of Dhaka University. He also said that a lot of protesting students and public were killed by using drone, helicopter and lethal weapons throughout the country. Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun further asserted in his testimony that he, along with Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal, Home Secretary and DMP Commissioner, went to Narayanganj on 29/7/24 to observe the situation of the movement, and on the way they stayed for a while in front of Jatrabari police station, and then DC Iqbal of Wari Zone showed a video to the Home Minister on his mobile and said, "We shoot one, that one dies, that one gets injured, but the others do not move." Therefore, it is perspicuous from the above that all the three accused led the operations against the protesting students and public jointly as a matter of joint criminal enterprise. As the aftermath of Sheikh Hasina's order, as well as the supervision and guidance of accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and IGP Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun, the law enforcers and activists of Awami League, Chhatra League and Yuva League
Build an AI model, but deploying it feels like a nightmare. MLOps makes this possible. You can automate
and lethal weapons, causing death to about 1,500, inclusive of 6 protesters at Sankarpur of Dhaka, namely Shahriar Khan Anas, Mahdi Hassan Junaid, MD Yaqub, MD Rakib Hawladar, Muhammad Ismamul Haq, Manik Mia alias Shaharik, and another 6 protesters at Ashuria of Sabar, namely Sajjad Hussain Sojol, As-Sabur, Tanzil Mahmud Sujoy, Bayezid Bustami, Abul Hussain, and another unidentified protester near Dhaka and caused grievous injuries to about 25,000 of them. In Ashulia, the aforesaid 5 dead bodies and another body of an unidentified injured protester were burned with petrol by police. The law enforcers and the activists of Awami League and those of its affiliated organizations named Chhatra League and Yuva League killed and injured the protesting students and members of the public with lethal weapons like SMG, LMG, China rifle, shotgun, 9mm pistol, 7.62 pistol, both on the ground as well as from the helicopters from above the ground. The atrocities were committed by incitement, order, abatement, and failure to take preventive and punitive measures of the accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal, accused Inspector General of Police Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun, and by the abatement, aid, and perpetration of the underlings, that is, the subordinates. Some of the injured victims, members of the families of dead and injured protesters, other eyewitnesses from different parts of the country, deposed in support of the atrocities of killing and injuring hundreds and thousands of protesters all over the country. Under the foregoing facts and circumstances, it has ostensibly been substantiated that the atrocities of killing and gravely injuring the protesting students and public took place almost all over the country. In view of the testimony of the investigating officer, the atrocities during the movement, July movement 2024, the atrocities occurred in 50 districts and lethal weapons were used in 41 districts of Bangladesh. We also find that victim witnesses from many districts testified in the tribunal stating that killing and injuring the students and common people took place in their respective districts during July movement 2024. Thus, it is clear enough that attack in question was directed against civilian population and it was widespread and systematic. Therefore, in the atrocities of killing
Bro, if you keep learning Python like this, you won't get anywhere, even by next year.
If you know a better way, why don't you?
By her incitement, order, and also failure to take preventive and punitive measures under charge 1. Accused Sheikh Hasina committed one count of crimes against humanity by her order to use drones, helicopter, and lethal weapons under charge number 2. Count 1. Accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina committed crimes against humanity on one count under charge 1. Accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun committed crimes against humanity by their abatement in the use of drones, helicopter, and lethal weapons under charge number 2, Count 2. Accused Asaduzzaman Khan and Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun committed 2 counts of crime against humanity under the same charge by their abatements and failure to prevent the atrocities at Sankarpur, Dhaka, and also committed crimes against humanity by their abatements and failure to prevent the atrocities in Ashulia, Sabha, Dhaka under the same charge. Accused Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister, and as the President of Awami League and the controlling authority of all affiliated organizations, was the superior commander of the said party leaders and activists, as well as the Home Minister and Inspector General of Police, that is accused Sheikh Hasina and 2 other accused were in the superior and subordinate relationship. On the other hand, the Home Minister was the superior of the Inspector General of Police, that is, they are in the superior and subordinate relationship. As required to be an element as required by the provisions of Rome Statute. In the like way, all the police officers are subordinate to the Inspector General of Police. They worked under him. Thus, it is apparent that accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had superior control status over accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and accused Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun, whereupon it was her responsibility to take measures to prevent the atrocities in question, which continued for about a month. She did not also take any punitive measures against the perpetrators. In the like way, Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal held superior command responsibility over the Inspector General of Police and other successive other officers, and as such he had the superior command responsibility to prevent all of them from committing the atrocities and for taking punitive measures against the perpetrators. Thus, both the accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Inspector General of Police Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun, they committed crimes against humanity by their abatement, that is facilitation, and their failure to prevent the atrocities committed by their underlings, and hence they are liable to be punished under section 32A, 32G, 32H, 41B and 43 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act. Accused Sheikh Hasina is liable to be punished under section 32A, 32H, 41B and 43 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. It is obvious from the facts and circumstances delineated herein before that the law enforcers and the activists of ruling party Awami League, as well as its affiliated organizations, targeted the unarmed civilian protesters countrywide and accordingly attacked them. Therefore, in all the above discussed atrocities, the elements constituting crime against humanity have been fulfilled. The victim witnesses, the other witnesses, and the investigating officer held the accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and accused Inspector General of Police Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun liable for the atrocities. It may be mentioned here that Mr. Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun, Inspector General of Police, has been tendered pardon on his application pursuant to Section 15 of the Act.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your brain when you're in the zone.
Been directly or indirectly concerned in or privy to any of the crimes specified in Section 3 on condition of his making a full and true disclosure of the whole of the circumstances relative to the crime and to every other person concerned, whether as principal or abettor in the commission thereof. According to subsection 2 and 3 of section 15, he has been examined as a witness and detained in custody until today. It appears to the tribunal that he made a full and true disclosure of whole of the circumstances within his knowledge relative to the crime and to every other person concerned, both as principal and abettor in the commission thereof. He categorically admitted his involvement in the alleged acts and disclosed that a core committee consisting of Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal himself used to hold meeting every day at the residence of accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal to take decisions as to the necessary measures to face the movement of the students and to pass the instructions necessary instructions. He said that accused Prime Minister used to pass directions to the core committee in this regard. This accused also said that Sheikh Hasina directed them to use drone to trace the location of the protesters and to use helicopter and lethal weapons to kill the protesters. He mentioned that chain of command in the police service was not maintained. In most of the cases, the highest authority used to communicate or contact the mid-level officers like Additional Commissioner Harun Rashid, Additional Commissioner Monirul Islam. Accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina passed the direction in presence of Additional Deputy Commissioner Praloy Kumar Joardar during a core committee meeting. And as such, Joardar conveyed the direction to all the concerned officers throughout the country. Direction means the direction to use helicopter and lethal weapons as well as drones. Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun also mentioned in his testimony that he had a clean image and track record throughout his service for long 36 years. There had been no allegation against him during his long tenure. He said that he feels remorseful and ashamed on seeing the atrocities in the videos displayed in the courtroom. He sought apology to the tribunal and to the people of the country. Although accused Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun claimed to have made full disclosure of the circumstances, and we do also believe that he made a full and true disclosure. But the offences he committed and admitted is punishable with the capital sentence. And as such, in consideration of his disclosure and the gravity of the offences, we do incline to convict him and award him a lenient sentence, which will be declared later on. By the aforesaid acts and omissions, the accused committed crimes against humanity under section 3, 2A, subsection G, clause H, 41, 42, 43 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973, as stated before. The accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal remained in abscondence ab initio, despite the fact that notices and warrants were duly served in their given address according to law. Moreover, they were asked by publishing notice in 2 daily newspapers to appear and contest the case, but they did not turn up. Thus, their abscondence itself is suggestive of their guilt. The learned State Defence Counsel contended that the trial of the accused persons under the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 is not tenable, since the Act was passed in the Parliament for the purpose of trial of the criminals of War of Independence in 1971. While arguing this, the learned State Defence Counsel perhaps did not have a usual of the provisions of the Act as well as the preamble thereof. The preamble of the Act says that the Act was made in order to provide for detention, prosecution, and punishment of the persons for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and other crimes under international law, and for the matters connected therewith. Section 3 of the Act provides that the said crimes committed both before and after the commencement of the Act, before 1973, after 1973, are triable by the International Crimes Tribunal, whereupon the contention of the learned State Defence Counsel is not tenable in law. Moreover, Article 47 of the Constitution of Bangladesh has given upper hand.
सर इंट्राडे में मेरा या तो हर बार ऐसे लेट होता है या तो एंट्री गलत होती है. मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा है कि मार्केट मुझे ही टारगेट कर रहा है.
मार्केट किसी को टारगेट नहीं करता, बट हाँ, जो ट्रेडर्स बिना सिग्नल के एंट्री एंड एग्जिट करते हैं, मार्केट लॉन्ग टर्म में उन्हें पनिश जरूर करता है.
सिग्नल्स सर, कौन से सिग्नल्स?
ओवरबॉट एंड ओवरसोल्ड के सिग्नल्स, जिससे हम हमारे एंट्री एंड एग्जिट के जोन्स प्लान कर सकते हैं.
Intended that for the purpose of proving atrocities throughout the country, witnesses from all over the country have not been examined. In this context, we have to say that witnesses from many parts of the country have been examined, and they have adequately proved the atrocities in almost every part of the country. The victims, the family members of the dead and injured protesters, as well as the eyewitnesses, gave their testimony, which are enough for the proof of the charges. Quantity of witnesses is immaterial, while there are a small number of qualitative witnesses. Still, the number of 54 witnesses examined by the prosecution is not small. The learned State Defence Counsel also alleged that The audio conversations in question have not been examined by more than one department like CID. In this regard, we would hold that the genuineness of the report of CID has not been challenged, nor has the report been proved ingenuine, whereupon no other department was in need of holding further examination thereof. It is the further allegation of the learned State Defense Council that accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal did not incite or order the commission of the crimes against humanity as alleged, nor did participate in the commission thereof, and thus they deserve to be acquitted. The learned Chief Prosecutor, in course of summing up, asked for passing necessary order restraining Awami League from running activities as a political party. Although the prosecution depicted series of worst deeds of Awami League regime in the language of the prosecution, since achievement of independence of Bangladesh in 1971, the tribunal does not incline to discuss on this point since this is not the issue of the instant case. It has come to the notice of the tribunal that accused Sheikh Hasina, in defiance of the orders of the tribunal to appear and contest the case, has given interviews in the media where
आप अपने मोबाइल नंबर में एक छोटा सा सिंगल डिजिट चेंज करके अपनी पूरी फाइनेंशियल डेस्टिनी को चेंज कर सकते हो. हाँ,
made some derogatory remarks. I have noted this aspect beforehand, but in some of her interviews, she impliedly admitted her superior command responsibility. The United Nations Human Rights Commission categorically stated in its report that the political leaders issued direct orders and other directives authorizing and guiding operations by BGB, RAB, DGFI, Bangladesh Police, and Detective Branch that involved serious violations of human rights against protesters and other civilian, including extrajudicial killings and arbitrary detention. It has been stated in the report that 1,400 people have been killed by use of lethal weapons during the July movement 2024. By the political leaders, the United Nations Human Rights Commission meant the highest government authorities. The authorities in question are unprecedented in the history of Bangladesh. The nature and extent of cruelty administered upon the protesters, inclusive of infants, women, and old, stirred the hearts of the people throughout the world. On seeing the scenario of dead and injured protesters and their outcry in the videos displayed in the courtroom, and also seeing the victim witnesses in the courtroom, for giving testimony, who lost their skull, eyes, nose, hands, and legs. Any human being will fail to be in the normal state of mind seeing such scenario. Such atrocities must be brought to an end at any cost. Justice must not fail. In view of all the above facts and circumstances and findings, it is hereby ordered that accused Sheikh Hasina be found guilty on 3 counts under charge 1. Count number 1, incitement. Count number 2, order to kill. Count number 3, inaction to prevent the atrocities.
The reason behind your overthinking is your brain is caught in a negative loop. Hi, I'm Dr. Meghna Dikshit.
Take punitive actions against the perpetrators, and thus she is punishable. She is liable to punish under Section 3, Subsection 1A, Section 3, Subsection 2, Clause G, Section 3, Subsection 2, Clause H, Section 4, Subsection 1, Clause B, and Section 4, Subsection 3 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 under the charge number 1. But we do hold that for all these 3 counts of crime against humanity, we do incline to award a single sentence, that is the sentence of imprisonment till natural death for under charge 1. Under charge 2, accused Sheikh Hasina is liable on 2 counts. On 1 count, there are several counts. For 1 count, that is passing the order for deploying drones, helicopters, and using lethal weapons to kill the protesters. She committed crime against humanity under Section 3, Subsection 2A and Section 4, Subsection 1B of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. She also committed the same crime crime against humanity on the second count, killing 6 persons at Sankarpur of Dhaka, which was committed in contemplation, in furtherance, by virtue of her order, as stated beforehand. And similarly, she committed the same crime, that is the crime against humanity, on another count for causing the killings at Ashulia of Sabar, killing of 6 persons. For all these 3 counts, we have decided to inflict her with only 1 sentence, that is sentence of death. Please, please. For
আপনাদের বিনীতভাবে অনুরোধ করছি আদালতের ডেকোরাম, ট্রাইব্যুনালের ডেকোরাম মেনটেন করার জন্য। আপনাদের যা উচ্ছ্বাস, যা এক্সপেকটেশন, যা প্রকাশভঙ্গি, সেটা আদালতের ট্রাইব্যুনাল রুমের বাইরে যে করলে সেটা আরো শোভনীয় দেখা যাবে।
thank you. Thank you. Please silent থাকবেন। Accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and accused Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun. Accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal is liable for committing crime against humanity for the occurrence of killing 6 persons at Sankarpur of Dhaka. In this occurrence, they are liable for committing crimes against humanity by their abatement and failing to prevent the atrocities and also to failing to take necessary preventive measures, punitive measures. And thus, Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal is held liable for the commission of crime against humanity under section 32A, 32G, 32H, 41B, 43 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 for the commission of killing of 6 persons both at Sankarpur and 6 persons at Ashulia of Sabar. And for both the occurrences, he committed 4 counts of offenses, crime against humanity, 4 times, by his abatement and failure to take necessary actions in Sankarpur, by his abatement and failure to take necessary action at Ashulia. So for all these 4 counts, we have decided to award a single sentence of death to Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal. As regards Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun, as I have elucidated before, he has contributed to the trial of this case by making full and true disclosure of the circumstances within his knowledge. Yet, he also admitted, and he was involved in all the occurrences throughout the 36 days of movement, considering both his contributions, his admissions, with the material evidences to the tribunal to arrive at the correct decision, and also in consideration of the gravity of the offense, we are both remitting his sentence and awarding a sentence with leniency. That is, the offenses involve capital punishment. But for his contribution, we have decided to inflict him with the sentence of imprisonment for 5 years. The properties of accused Sheikh Hasina and accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal in Bangladesh be confiscated in favor of the state. the government is directed to pay considerable amount of compensation to the protesters concerned in this case, who have been killed in July movement 2024, and also to take measures to pay adequate compensation to the wounded protesters in consideration of the gravity of their injury and loss. The sentence shall be carried out in accordance with the provisions laid down in Section 20, subsection 3 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973, preferably pursuant to the long-standing practice. Let a copy of this judgment be transmitted to the District Magistrate Dhaka for necessary action. Let copy of the judgment be supplied to accused Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun according to law. The absconding accused will not get any copy at the moment. So thank you all very much.